Hello, this is Lindsay Nielsen with Forest Marsh Group. This video will review Section D of the 2018 Election Administration and Voting Survey, or EAVS. This section seeks to understand in-person voting and election administration in your jurisdiction in the 2018 general election. You can find similar presentations for the other 5 sections of the survey on the EAVS portal and the Election Assistance Commission website. As you watch this video, you might want to follow along with the PDF version of the survey, which can be found on the Downloads page of the EAVS portal. Section D of EAVS asks about in-person voting and election administration in the 2018 general election. You'll report a few types of data. First, how many people voted in person during the November 2018 election? Second, how many precincts did your jurisdiction use? Third, how many polling places did your jurisdiction use? Finally, how many poll workers did your jurisdiction use for this election? And what were the characteristics of those poll workers? As you answer these questions, keep in mind that all people who cast a ballot in person should be recorded in this section. If your jurisdiction allows in-person absentee voting, that is considered early voting for purposes of the EAVS survey. Note also that there are some states that can't differentiate between absentee ballots delivered by mail or cast in person. If this is the case in your jurisdiction, please note this in the comment sections of the relevant questions. The first question in Section D asks for the total number of votes cast in your jurisdiction. This includes all methods of voting: in-person, by mail, early, provisional, and EAVS. This total will be recorded in D1A. Next, question D2 asks you to focus only on people who voted in person at a physical polling location. All in-person voters should be included in this question, regardless of whether their ballots were ultimately counted or rejected. However, this question shouldn't include absentee ballots dropped off at a polling place or provisional ballots. In D2A, you'll record the number of people who voted in person on Election Day, and in D2B, you'll record the number of people who voted in person at an early voting location. If your jurisdiction doesn't have Election Day polling places or in-person early voting, enter -88 in the Excel template or check the Does Not Apply box in the online template. The next set of questions is about precincts and polling places. EAVS defines a precinct as the geographic area voters are assigned to according to their residential address. Some jurisdictions use the term ward or voting district instead of precinct. In D3, record the number of precincts your jurisdiction had. In D4 and D5, you'll record the number of physical polling places used for the election. This may differ from the number of precincts. For instance, if your jurisdiction assigns 2 precincts to vote in one location, that should be counted as 1 polling place. You'll further break down the number of polling places both by whether they were used for Election Day or early voting, and by whether the polling place was located at an election office or at another site. If a location was used as a polling place for both early and Election Day voting, please record it in both D4 and D5. If there are any local election offices in your jurisdiction at which individuals can cast in-person ballots, include them in D4C or D5C as appropriate. The final set of questions in Section D is about poll workers who assisted with the 2018 general election. Let's first review the definition of who should be counted as a poll worker for purposes of the EAVS. Poll workers are people who assist at polling places with activities like handing out ballots, setting up voting machines, and assisting voters. When counting the number of poll workers, you shouldn't include election observers or staff members from your election office unless they were hired specifically to serve voters in either early or Election Day voting. Questions D6 and D7 ask you to record the number of poll workers used for Election Day and early voting. If a poll worker served in both capacities, include them in both counts. Next, question D8 asks about the age of your jurisdiction's poll workers. Some jurisdictions have that information from poll workers' applications or from payroll records. However, if your jurisdiction doesn't collect that data, you can enter -99 in the Excel template or click the Data Not Available checkbox in the online template. Before recording the data on the ages of your poll workers, D8A will ask you to record the total number of poll workers. Please note that the numbers you record in D6 and D7 may not add up to the number you record in D8A, since some poll workers could be counted in both D6 and D7. The last question concerns how easy or difficult it was for your jurisdiction to recruit poll workers for the election. This is a multiple choice question that will ask you to select one option that best fits your jurisdiction. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. We encourage you to carefully read through each section before answering any of the questions to ensure you're accurately reporting your jurisdiction's data. The easiest way to view the survey and its instructions is to access the PDF version of the 2018 survey on the Downloads page of the EAVS portal. We also encourage you to use the comments boxes for each question to provide us with additional information and context. This will help us analyze and report your data accurately. If you need additional assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us at EAVS@forsmarshgroup.com. All emails sent to that address will be answered within 1 business day. Thank you, and we appreciate your time and your contributions to the 2018 EAVS survey.